sometimes there's so many things that you can juggle, right? There's so many things that we kind of have to do. And for her to be so laid back and relaxed and have fun and just chit chat with everyone is cool to see.
Now, I understand you got some new shoes that you've developed. Is this going to be a gift for Caitlin?
Yeah, so I gifted her some shoes.
Today, we're peeling back the layers of one of the most shocking, spine-tingling crossovers the sports world has ever witnessed. What began as a seemingly harmless gesture, a single, elegantly wrapped gift, rapidly ignited a storm of whispers, speculation, and controversy, pulling in Nike, the WNBA, golf, fierce rivalries, jealousy, and billions of dollars in unseen stakes. When Nelly Korda slid that box into Caitlin Clark's hands, flashing that knowing grin, no one had the faintest idea of the chain reaction she had unleashed. This was far from a casual token. It was the ignition of something seismic. On the surface, it looked harmless, even delightful. Fans chalked it up to a friendly handshake between two of the planet's most elite athletes, but the reality was electric. Golf icon Nelly Korda, Nike's shining star, presented the gift to basketball prodigy Caitlin Clark as cameras exploded, cheers reverberated, and laughter danced through the arena. And yet, the real chaos erupted online. Within moments, social media ignited like wildfire. Tweets, insider leaks, fan theories, and rumor mills spun furiously. Everyone sensed it. This was no ordinary exchange. Nike was quietly orchestrating something massive, and this single, seemingly innocent moment could reshape the very fabric of sports. Here's the twist most missed. While the world argued over what it all meant, the true story, the high stakes, hidden currents, was happening right before their eyes. Unnoticed by all but a few.
For women's sports, for two of the biggest stars to come together in this sort of environment, how important is that?
I think it just shows how powerful, supporting one another can truly be. And, I've always been a big advocate of that and supporting women's sports and always been a big fan, whether it's golf or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is. So it's really fun to just see her do her craft up close and how good she is and, getting to play with her last year. And I played a few other rounds with her.
Nelly Korda and Caitlin Clark aren't just faces on a Nike billboard. They're lightning rods, rising stars in two completely separate worlds. Golf and basketball. Different arenas, different fans, entirely unique empires, yet one brand threads them together. So when these two powerhouses appeared side by side in a moment that felt calculated, cinematic, and perfectly timed, the internet didn't just notice, it erupted. The buzz was instantaneous. This wasn't coincidence. Nike had a strategy in motion, and the world was catching the first glimpse. Speculation ignited like wildfire. Could this be the launch of a colossal cross-sport initiative? Picture it. Nelly Korda shattering records on the golf course, Caitlin Clark tearing through WNBA defenses, both global icons, both irresistible to fans, both at the pinnacle of their momentum. This wasn't a simple promo, it could be a multi-billion-dollar marketing universe. Nike could capture basketball diehards, golf aficionados, international audiences, untapped markets, and endless viral content, all in one sweep. One fan's tweet summed it up perfectly. This isn't a gift. This is a power alliance in motion. But then, the waters darkened. Rumors began to churn online, whispers of intrigue and tension within the WNBA. Eyes turned toward the league's stars and decision-makers. Questions hung in the air, and what about Aya Wilson? The narrative had split, half obsessed with the glitz of the crossover, half diving into the shadows of internal league drama. Everything felt electrified, and no one could look away.
Gonna make her golf better, and I was like, guaranteed.
Did you sign them?
No, I didn't. I hope she uses them. But I gave her a little gift bag of this little PE collection, which has been super fun to make. So I'm very grateful. And if you told me this, 10 years ago when I was looking in the crowd that I would have my own shoe and being here playing in front of everyone and inspiring the next generation, I would.
She's the league's MVP, the established face of the WNBA. So why, all of a sudden, is Nike pushing Caitlin Clark so aggressively, pairing her with Nelly Korda in a moment that felt like more than coincidence? True or not, fans immediately spun wild theories of jealousy, rivalry, and backstage tension. Some whispered that Aya Wilson wasn't thrilled. Others suggested league leadership, especially Kathy, was blindsided. Many argued the scene looked less like a friendly gift and more like a deliberate power shift. Remember, Aya is also a Nike athlete, a superstar, and one of the WNBA's flagship faces. But Caitlin's fame is skyrocketing at a pace no one expected. The instant Nelly's gift went viral, the narrative changed. Is Nike quietly rewriting the league's hierarchy? Is Caitlin emerging as its new global centerpiece? Rumors or reality? The online chatter hit harder than any press release. The comment sections became battlegrounds. Basketball fans, golf fans, WNBA purists, Caitlyn supporters, Aya loyalists, they all clashed. Some insisted Caitlyn deserves this meteoric rise as the future of the sport. Others argued it's unfair to Aya, the reigning MVP. And some claimed Nike is deliberately dismantling the WNBA's old order. Meanwhile, a few shrugged. It's just a gift. Chill. But the divide only widened. Theories multiplied. What started as a simple gesture transformed into a symbol, a harbinger of cross-sport collaboration, a bold signal of a new era in women's sports, Nike's global strategy in motion, and a subtle threat to the league's established order. To some, it was inspiring. To others, alarming. Thrilling for some, intimidating for others. This wasn't just a gift anymore. It was a declaration. Caitlyn Clark is no longer just a basketball player. She's evolving into a global superstar, a force so immense that elite athletes from entirely different worlds are now drawn into her orbit.
And all it took was for her to take to social media to make this announcement, for everybody to go into a frenzy, and for, I think, the vibes to pick up just a little bit. It's that genuine love the fans have for Caitlyn Clark. And
there she is, the woman of the hour, Caitlyn Clark, arriving to Pelican Golf Club outside Tampa earlier this morning to compete in the Annika driven by Gamebridge Pro-Am for the second straight year. What a scene. The guard for the Indiana Fever, twice a WNBA All-Star, back at the Annika, mixing it up with the best on the LPGA, including Nelly Korda, the 15-time winner. Caitlyn will play with her for 9.
And here's the twist no one saw coming. What if every rumor, every theory, every whispered suspicion is completely wrong? What if Nelly Korda wasn't sending Caitlyn Clark a calculated business signal at all, but simply showing genuine admiration? What if Nike isn't plotting a takeover, but quietly honoring two of the world's most dominant female athletes? Drama often drowns out truth, yet sometimes it exposes it. That's the power of this moment. The full story is still hidden, the motives buried. But one thing is certain. This single gift carried weight far beyond anyone's imagination. Was it just a friendly gesture or the opening move in a billion-dollar strategy? A subtle message that shook the very foundations of the WNBA? Reality may be murky, but one fact is unshakable. Caitlyn Clark's rise is unstoppable. Every athlete, every league, every brand feels the ripple. This wasn't just a moment. It wasn't small. It wasn't ordinary. It wasn't innocent. It was a spark, a symbol, a storyline, and maybe even the dawn of a new era in women's sports. And the FaceTime with Nelly Korda? Incredible. Not just a casual hello, these two athletes connect, exchange secrets of training, practice routines, insights you and I will never hear. They learn from each other, sharpening skills, building knowledge, creating unspoken bonds. Picture Caitlyn Clark strolling the fairways with Nelly Korda, two of the greatest American female athletes alive today. It's a scene that shakes off the rust, a reminder of potential. Caitlyn hasn't been playing her full WNBA schedule, sure, but she's been quietly perfecting her craft, tinkering on the golf course, on the practice range, in ways only a true competitor could. And that, perhaps, is the real story behind the gift.